Hey, what's happening? I did a video yesterday, guys, but it was I had no sound. It was on UVXY, but I'll come back to that later. I think there's probably a little more opportunity right now. What's going on with U.S. oil, right? United States Oil Fund. So a lot of the stuff I hear or get involved with, it's because of what's happening in the world. And right now, when I go to the gas station, I drop my girls off. Sometimes I have to put gas in my tank. I fill it up the other day. A few days before it was in the threes, low to mid threes, and then when I filled it up, it was in the low to mid fours. So I was like, oh man. So I had jumped into some. I was thinking about buying 100 shares of USO. Now, probably in hindsight, I should have did it yesterday when it was $80. $80, $81. It's up almost $3 or $4 right now. And if we look over the past 3 months, it's been kind of on an uptrend. Now it could pull back, like when you look back in a year, right? It plummeted back from, let's see here, January 20th down to May 2020. I think that's when I'd have to do some due diligence. But I know that when Biden pulled out for us with the oil, that had some effects. But overall, it's been trending up, and with what's happening now in Russia and Ukraine, it seems like there's some opportunity there. So I probably won't stay in it too long, maybe a month or two. And I try to reference this to, like, if I have an apartment that I rent out, I'm trying to make $800 net profit after we pay everything. So if I bought $10,000 worth or 100 shares worth of USO, and I had kept it for a month, it's going to cost us around right now $8,500, give or take. So if I was going to hold it for a month anyway, just to put in perspective, March 11th to say April 14th, okay, and I'm into it for, let's say, $8,500. So if I held it and I said, okay, between $85 and $95. You're going to make $450. So there's 2,400 people interested, 2,400 volume. If I went to sell it, I'd make $450 for holding that. On the same token, what I probably would do is, if I went from a month out to next week, it's going to be pretty close. So if I was to go from $85, right, to, let's see, $90, right? It's a $5 spread. I'm going to make about $330 for next week. It's not too far. I could either go out a month or I could go out till next week, which is not quite 2 weeks. But I probably would increase my income, $450 versus $330. That's $660 for 2 weeks if it had the similar spread. Regardless, I make the $3. There's 4,200 transactions, 800 people interested, and the spread I saw was pretty tight. Over here it's $325 to $350. So if I get filled between $330 and $340 is probably what I would look for, and I'd hold my money for a week or two. In this case, almost 2 weeks. I'd make the spread between $85 and $90, so that's $500, and I'd make the $330. So maybe it hits the 90, maybe it doesn't, but I still make the 330. Now the only downside is if it drops and plummets back down. Then I'm a bag holder, which has happened to me before. But I think with right now, that's probably not going to drop anytime soon. I think unless the war abruptly ends, right? I don't think that's going to happen. So that's what I was looking at for a play during the week. And of course, tomorrow I'll circle back to UVXY, the Fear and Greed Index. But I look at stuff that is happening around me where I'm like, oh, that seems like something I could get involved in. Like when the pandemic happened and Zoom came out, I was like, oh, I like this communications company. It seems like there's some opportunity there with the schools. Like my daughter's school talked about having Zoom classes and doing remote learning. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy some of that stock. And it was $80 a share. And it went as high as $550. Great, I didn't stay in that long, but certainly made some money along the way with the few shares that I had. And I'm not usually buying thousands of shares if it's expensive, but like this, it's $80 a share when I got in. I should have just bought the 100, but I was in the UVXY. I was looking at UVXY. But anyway, so that's what I'm looking at today. I'll get at you guys tomorrow about the other one. Okay, have a good day.